Hello, everyone. We believe we are live now. So, welcome to another episode from Investing with a Difference. So, today we are going to talk about overall market as well as the EOS, as we usually talk mostly about EOS and take questions. So, we will talk about all the things that are happening as well as if you have any questions about the recent tools which have been developed and so on. So first of all, introduction. I think you already know our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. This will help you get notifications whenever we make updates. And do press like and share because this helps discovery of our videos for other EOS community members. Now, a few things quickly. You have some links here on our channel. If you go, there's a Facebook page. We are building a community where we can discuss cryptocurrencies and a lot of other things. Then we have a Bitmax, which is a Bitcoin future trading exchange, and you have some other EOS futures as well on that. And this link is a referral link, which will give you a discount on the commissions. So if you are interested in that, please use our link, and you can actually benefit from it. And we also have Binance referral link here for your benefit if you are interested in buying altcoins and other cryptocurrencies. So coming back to the market, so the market has been pretty soft. We have again gone down to 235 billion market cap, which is almost low for 2018. I think this is one of the lowest points, and almost everything is suffering right now. And this is something I think the sentiment is at a very low point. Uh, as you can see, we have been languishing around here, and let's go back and look at Bitcoin because that's a proxy for the whole market. And it is a very small move in last few hours. Actually, if you go back to hourly chart, it's very quiet after this big fall we had yesterday night. And what is happening is there is a lot of selling earlier which happened, and right now the volumes are not that big. So it's, even though the sentiment is at its lowest, it's very difficult to find sellers right now, and that is why it is kind of becoming pretty low volatility market. Like if you see in recent times, we are not seeing as big moves as we were seeing earlier, and the volumes are continuously going down. So it's a kind of a listless market. I think we are still in a pretty much in bear market. And look at this, like we are in this triangle. We are almost trying to break down, but we are not breaking down. So it's a very difficult to say. Typically, when the sentiment is so low, we expect the market to bounce back because there is already the worst has been priced in, and sellers have already sold. So, but I think the challenge here is that we are hitting new lows and we are not making a bottom technically. And that's what I have been talking about, that maybe it can go to 5,000 or 5,400, which look like technically some good support areas. But at this level, it is just going to keep struggling here as sentiment is low and we are not really able to make a bottom. So let us get to EOS now. I think most of you are here for EOS, so let's not wait and jump right into it. So we already did a video on the new constitution which Dan Larimer published, and if you see, there's a lot of kind of reactions coming in now. I spent some time while I was traveling. I didn't have a lot of time, but what I realized, following some of the Telegram channels and some of the responses online, there's a lot of extreme reactions. Either people really like it or they don't, and it all depends on whether uh, there are there are people who are backers of Dan Larimer, who really believe in him. Then they are just going ahead and saying, "Oh, this is great," and there are some others who are always skeptical. They don't really read too much into detail, and they are just questioning. For example, there is this article published. Sorry for that. So they are talking about EOS about to get more centralized without really understanding what is happening. So the reason they are highlighting that is because Block.one has declared their intent to vote. And let me ask you one thing: like, how can somebody claim that it is becoming centralized? Because remember, Block.one has only 10% of the votes. They are the creator and architect of this blockchain, they have been lining up funds working with VCs to really work in the favor of it. Now, if you compare it with any other blockchain which is centralized, for example, if you take a Tron, if you look at VeChain, NEM, any other blockchains, they are 100% centralized. 100% decision making is happening by the creators of the blockchain. Here we are talking about 10% vote, and they have not even confirmed they will use the whole 10% stake. Now, the other thing is their tokens are frozen. They cannot really sell. As per the smart contract, the 100 million tokens they have, those are going to be released over 10 years. So it is in their best interest. They do make the decisions which are in good interest of EOS. So you should trust that entity because they are have the voice of DApp developers, because they are funding these DApps, and they should have a stake. And that is what I would say is important. The second part is this is still 90% of the tokens are held by community. Of course, there are issues around exchanges, and I hope all the EOS buyers, they withdraw once the withdrawals are enabled at all the exchanges. Some of the exchanges are still not allowing withdrawals. I hope all of them will withdraw and take control of their own tokens and vote. That is the goal. And remember, we have done some videos earlier. Voting does There is a very big miscommunication happening by this media. See, they keep talking about staking of tokens. They talk about how many tokens are staked. You do not have to keep your tokens staked forever. You only stake for 3 days. First of all, if you have not really done anything with your wallet, they're already staked. So first time you will have to unstake anyway. And let's say you vote and then unstake, you don't even lose a single day. But if you are adding new tokens to your wallet, if you're buying at exchange and you want to vote, you can always vote, and that vote will stay for a very long time. It decays very slowly. Only after 1 year your weight is reduced to half. So only staking for 3 days, your vote is still going to count for a very long time. So I don't see why this is not being highlighted. I think everybody should highlight this, that voting is not really blocking your tokens forever. It's only for 3 days. And that is something which everybody should understand. And once that happens, I think more and more people vote. This 10% is not big. Plus, as I said, they have not confirmed they will be voting with whole 10% stake. And plus, they are trying to bring a consensus. They are part of the community. They are talking about the reasoning behind what they are doing. So I don't see a reason why there is an issue here. But again, there will always be a FUD created by people who are not really understanding what's happening. Uh, it's still better that block.one votes with their 10% versus the problems of exchanges which are voting, the exchanges which are actually using the tokens which they do not own. They are custodians, they own it on behalf of the actual buyers. And that is something we should be opposing, not the block.one voting. So this is something which I wanted to talk about. Let us go to the other points. Let me see if you have any questions. So I think again, around voting, you should make sure that you understand how the voting is working. I hope more and more wallets come which are secure. Right now, I think Greymass is the best wallet if you want to vote, and it is secure. It has a cold wallet option and so on, and you can download the Greymass from this page, which is github.com Greymass/EOS voter releases. If you simply search Greymass EOS voter, you will get this page. We have posted this link many times on our YouTube videos, and we will do it today as well. So if you have any questions, let us know. I think we really trust this team. So we also discussed with them recently on enabling proxy voting. So many of you are asking, how can we assign proxy? So I think right now the only way you can do that is through the toolkit, which is a browser-based toolkit from GeneraOS. This is the only place we know and we believe a lot of people are using this. So if you go here, you can log in with your you can attach your account using Scatter. So this is the Scatter. You need to make sure that you have already enabled Scatter safely. There are a lot of videos available online by NS James, who is the creator of Scatter. So if you're already using Scatter for other things, I would say you can easily assign proxy by going to manage voting and going to set proxy. It's a very simple thing. You enter your account name and you enter the account which you are going to assign the proxy to, and you just create that, and it is as simple as that. So I hope that people make use of that. If you are not sure whom to vote for, as we have opened up our account for assigning to be a proxy, we are going to vote very regularly and make sure that we contribute to the community. Now, ultimately, I think the safest way in future, if you have not used Scatter and if you're skeptical about your browser, so all these tools like Scatter or Greymass, these are pretty safe as long as you are not getting hacked at your computer, if there are some other issues with your tools. So there is nothing wrong with these tools, either Greymass or Scatter. So do not be afraid if you are comfortable with security level of your PC. That's what I would say. And that is something which you have to individually monitor, because if your browser is not secure, if you or somebody is monitoring your activity on your computer, then nothing is secure. Whatever wallet comes out will not be safe. So that is something you need to understand. But as long as you are comfortable with your computer, with your PC, whatever you're using, like I use MacBook, which is usually more secure than Windows. And but I think overall it's about the confidence you have in your environment rather than these tools, because these tools are now very widely used and been approved by almost everybody to be safe. Other thing which we covered is, of course, the Horus Pay airdrop calculator. So the good thing, as we mentioned, is there's a lot of good stuff happening here. Means in terms of airdrops coming. So let me go back and see if I can open up one of the accounts, which makes it easy for you to see. I think it's using public key, so I don't have that public key right now to easy to copy. But I think we showed you in another video that you can use this tool to see all the airdrops, which is a pretty good thing, because you people were asking what are the airdrops coming, how many tokens I will get, and that is something which is a good tool. And EOS Authority, we showed you another video that there is a Telegram bot which they had released. So we forgot to mention that they also have this feature on. You can just go to their website eosauthority.com/alerts, and you can sign up with your email. We usually do not recommend sharing your email and assigning, like, attaching your email to your account, because this basically exposes your identity. But I think EOS Authority is a very reliable block producer. We trust them for keeping your information safe. So from that perspective, I would not bother if you are not comfortable with Telegram bot, if you are not sure you are going to use Telegram. I think it's more important for you to make sure that you're monitoring your accounts for any activity, so that you should not have a surprise if somebody hacks into your account. So that is something which I would say you should think about, and definitely use this feature and this tool which has been developed by US Authority. So let me quickly have a look if we have any questions while we talked about different things. So there is a question about, I have an account, just not a wallet. Where do I find the tag info? I don't know what tag you're talking about. If you're talking about account name, your account name, you can go to eosauthority.com. So if you just go back here and you say eosauthority.com, if you put your Ethereum wallet address here and you say check my EOS, you will get a very clear account name and a public key. If you have not registered, you do not have the private key, maybe, and then you have to rely on the fallback method. But if you have registered, you should have the private key with you for that account. And when you say the account name, that can be checked on this eosauthority.com homepage. Um, what other questions we have? GEOS domain names. You think one day it will go on bidding like ENS? I don't know what is ENS. You're talking about GEOS domain name. GEOS is a tool which is they are a third party tool. They're enabling buying EOS accounts for people who do not already have EOS accounts, and that's what they are enabling. So I don't understand your question. What I can tell you is it's been vetted by many block producers. They are kind of a reliable team, and they're not asking for anything. They're not asking for your private key, so you can create your separately. You can create a EOS public and private key, and you can only assign a public key to your account, and that's how they are making accounts. So we like the tool. We like it for people who are new to EOS, who never had EOS before mainnet launch. And also, if you want to create more EOS usernames without attaching them to your existing key pair and having a fresh key pair, so that's a pretty good tool. So, what are the other questions? The best wallet for EOS right now? I already answered that. I like GreyMass the best. This is the tool which we have been using, and it supports cold wallet. That means you do not need to be connected to the web when you enter your keys and so on. So that is something you should consider. Um, then you're talking. There's another question. What happens if I leave my EOS token on EOS blockchain? Your EOS tokens are only on your blockchain, so you don't leave them. You don't do anything. EOS will always remain on EOS. EOS tokens are mm, representing uh, EOS mainnet only. So I don't understand your question. What are your thoughts on value proposition of EOS DAC? I would say EOS DAC is a multiple things. So one thing is, of course, they're block producer. They are community-driven team. They have pretty wide structure of the team. They are spread out, and they're doing some good things. Their token value itself, I think it's about they're sharing some of the earnings. I believe, and also they're planning to create a DAC, which is like a decentralized autonomous I forgot the full form, but basically it says that they are trying to create some systems where you can really create decentralized automated tools. And I think we need to wait for them to develop all these things, because DAC has been one of the key things which blockchain promised, and it has not really come out that well, and the usage is not very clear. But I think if you go into the theory of that, means I don't have good words to explain that right now, but it is very interesting concept. So we need to wait for how they are going to really make the tokens uh, we need to understand that, like what they're going to do with that. I don't know if they're going to share all their future projects with the token holders, or they are just going to share the earnings as a block producer. Those kind of things we don't know. I would say it was more of a many block producers are sharing tokens earlier. That is one way of getting some loyalty, because but I don't like that idea in general, because it is almost like vote buying. Because people who do not know who is really working for the best interest of community, they can get just motivated to vote for a block producer if he airdrops. So it's a matter of, I think, who is doing what. EOS DAC has decided very early on they are going to airdrop, and many other questionable block producers are airdropping, which we don't know yeah, whether we should support it. Simple EOS wallet. Some people are talking about. As I said before, we are still not comfortable with the security of it. We think that it is like we are still not getting that comfortable based on the way it works. But I think overall, a lot of people are liking it. We have not seen anybody report any issues with Simple EOS. But I would say that we are much more comfortable with GreyMass right now in terms of security. What else? There are no other questions I see right now. I think most of you are talking about wallets. I think we have repeated it multiple times that wallets don't keep your tokens. Your tokens are always on mainnet, they're always on blockchain. Your wallets are just keeping the keys, and they are just the interface to access your tokens on the blockchain. You don't have anything inside the wallet, so please understand this, otherwise you will always make mistakes. Which wallet can I use that does not require me to import my private keys? Well, you depends on what you're talking about in terms of using. So if you need to understand that if you are anytime going to withdraw token, you need to use your private key. Otherwise, anybody can do that. Now, if you're talking about simply watching your account and monitoring it, you don't need to use any wallet. You can just use the monitoring tools like eospark.com, like eosflare.io, and EOS Network Monitor.io. We have talked about so many different tools. You can use any of them to monitor your account. But when you say accessing a wallet without private key, that means you're just watching it, your blockchain. Anytime you need to withdraw, you do need to use private keys, because that's how you may make transactions. What else, guys? So, if there are no other questions, let's keep going. I think I wanted to talk about the RAM. There has been a lot of discussion around that. So, what is happening is this was the peak which was formed because there was a lot of speculation happening. We warned you about this, that this can get ugly. And as you saw, that we had some wild swings. We have people uh, dumping RAM when the EOS block producers started discussing about it. It was highlighted in many Telegram channels, and as you can see, the speculation is still going on, and there are some wild movements, which is very risky now. I don't think the risk reward is in your favor. If you bought it very early on, when we highlighted first time, it was at 20 EOS per 1 megabyte. Actually, it was less than 20, it was around 18 EOS. Now it has seen the peak around 132, and now if you see it as just speculators, big speculators are dumping in very short time, bringing the price down very fast. So be very careful if you're trading. We don't think it's a good thing now anymore in terms of speculation. And moreover, I think it is not a great idea now that because the RAM utilization has gone up very high to 62%, and the price is going up so high that it is really prohibiting the DApp developers from effectively start using this EOS blockchain. Because if we just keep this utilization at high level and keep the prices high, the real EOS token value is not going to go up, because more and more DApps will struggle to launch. So I think it is not really a very good speculation anyway, because as I said, the exponential period is gone. Now we are, if we have to go up from here, I think it will be very easy for block producers to just increase by 5% or 10% capacity, and the price can crash, and you can get burnt in this whole process if that happens. But if I think if you want to use RAM for longer term, if you plan to do some development in future, you can always buy some RAM and keep it. But if for speculation, I think it's not great anyway, with the kind of price action we are seeing now. So this is something I wanted to talk about. I think a lot of people are still interested. There is a Telegram group formed for ESRAM trading, and when I go to the Telegram group, I see that people are really not understanding what's happening, and this is not a great thing. If you don't understand your investments, you should not make those, and that is the warning I would like to give. So we had declared that we don't recommend trading. I think 3 or 4 days back, and as you can see now that this whole RAM trading is becoming useless with the kind of price action we are seeing. It's very unpredictable. Again, as I said, it is still not super expensive. I think if you look at this, we are still looking at around 80 cents per kilobyte of RAM. So I think overall it is still a very reasonable price. So if people are talking about DApp developers not having cheap RAM available, I don't think this is a big issue. But I think the real benefit of dApps for EOS is the free transactions for super fast confirmations, and those are the kind of things people should focus on. And I think now that the whole constitution thing, of course, there will be a lot of discussions around it, but I think we need to move on. As I have explained in the previous videos, I still believe this is the right way. We don't want to have human factors affecting day-to-day progress, and we need to simply focus on DApp development now and bringing real applications and showing to the world that EOS is performing at the level it should be. So if we go to the EOS network monitor, let us look at where we are. So if it is right now, I think we have gone above 3 million blocks, and the number of transactions are going very, very fast. We are seeing that there is no. So let us look at what is happening. So I think while there is a lot of drama about all this constitution, about ECAF and so on, what people are not talking about is how well this network is operating, how smooth if you have done this transaction. So we have been doing some transactions. If you have used send tokens, if you have made any voting transactions or RAM buying transactions, it happens within like a less than a second. You see it on your any of the mainnet tools, and that is something nobody is really looking at. This is the reason why EOS is way ahead of any other blockchain. That is because of the performance, because of the actual technical strength of EOS, and that's will only be visible when we have more and more dApps launching. So I'm just hoping that all this FUD gets settled down. Right now the prices are low. I think it's frustrating if you're an investor that why EOS is going down. I think there are two reasons. One is, of course, there is no real dApp. Even though the mainnet has launched, even though we are producing blocks very fast, most of the transactions are simply RAM buying, voting, which is now kind of settled. And this is not what it is designed for. So the EOS is designed for running dApps, and I think once that start churning out, we have more and more dApps. Yeah, then I think we will really see the benefit of EOS. So I think that's what I wanted to say today. I don't have a lot more content. So if there are, I will wait for another 5 minutes. If you have any questions, we will take it now. And overall, I would say, as in summary, I'm not too worried about what is all the FUD right now. I really believe this is a good constitution. It's always subjective. These are more like when you talk about governance. Governance, there can never be a full majority where everybody agrees on everything. There will always be debates. There will always be discussions around what is good for EOS or not. But remember, this is the only chain where it is even possible to talk about it. They're allowing a discussion on governance. That itself is good about EOS, and it is this is how the democratic world should look like. And now, whether you agree or not, that is a more of a your own individual view, and you can decide to stay in the EOS ecosystem or not based on whatever is chosen. And that is something which I think everybody should understand. While we in the modern world, we are living in a social media driven um, communities where people are very much polarized. I would say this is something which we should avoid in a world of blockchain, in world of this whole new world and revolutionary world of decentralized systems. And I hope that we don't get into the same mess of what we have in real world, about the politics and the governance issues. And that is where I think the reason for these objective boundaries and a code based arbitration and rules is going to help us achieve that, where we can avoid more and more polarized world, and we focus on development, we focus on actual technical progress rather than the politics of it. So that's my final comments. Let me quickly look at the comments if there are any questions coming, and then we will close this session today. Will I ever be able to send my 10 unstaked EOS to another wallet without importing my private keys? No. You need to understand that if that is possible, then your tokens are not safe. Your private key, only you know. That's why those 10 tokens or any other tokens in your wallet are safe. If anybody without using private key could do it, then how would your EOS tokens be safe? So please learn what the meaning of. So you can go to very basic. Bitcoin courses where people talk about what is a private key, what is a public key. You will understand. If you are in the crypto world, you need to basically understand what is the difference between a private and public key. Otherwise, you should not be in crypto world. You just stay with exchanges, never own your own tokens. That is my recommendation because you're not ready for it. Then the other question is hard to get my private keys of Treasure. Uh, Treasure does not support EOS. So if you are talking about private keys of Treasure, those are Ethereum private keys. Again, as I said, if you don't understand, please learn it before you do anything stupid. Uh, this keys, EOS keys were generated when you registered your token. So, depending on the method you used for registration, go back to those instructions. Make sure you noted your private keys. If you did not, you need to ask for help from EOS 911 or some of the other block producers who are helping with fallback methods, who are helping with recovering your keys. So, I would say that first step for you, if you do not have the EOS private keys, is to go to EOS 911, which is a Telegram channel, and go and talk to them, and they will help you with the best ways to recover your private keys. But please understand the difference between Ethereum chain and EOS chain. So let me give you an example. So if you have a bank account number, or if you have an account in Bank of America, and then you go to Wells Fargo and say, "Oh, I want to withdraw my money which I deposited." These are two different banks you're talking about. You don't your money, your tokens. When you talk about Ethereum based EOS, which was before mainnet launch, that was a totally different blockchain. When you talk about EOS mainnet, it's a totally different blockchain. These are now, when you move to mainnet, you need to have the keys and the wallet for EOS mainnet. Your Ethereum, Treasure, whatever you're talking about, all that is gone. My Ether wallet or MetaMask or anything which we used to know about Ethereum, that is not applicable to EOS anymore. Once the snapshot was taken, your tokens were created fresh on EOS mainnet. So please understand this. We have repeated it many times. If you don't understand it, I think you need help from somebody who knows it, and you should not try to do it yourself. So, what are the other questions? I don't see anything else. I think I need both scatter and gray mass to unstake and trade RAM. No, you don't need gray mass yeah, for trading RAM. If because you all you need is scatter, and you go to generous toolkit, you can do that. But I think gray mass is working on adding the RAM buying feature, as we understand. So right now they have not enabled it. I think we would be really happy if everything can be done in gray mass. Remember, all these wallets are providing you interface to the blockchain. The real transactions happen on the blockchain, not in your wallet. Your wallet is only giving you a way of sending transactions which actually execute on the blockchain. So please understand that whether you use scatter or gray mass, they are just a way of entering transactions. They are not really doing transactions. And please don't enter your private keys anywhere unless you really understand everything. Make sure if you either you're 100% confident. Don't enter private keys. If you are not sure, wait. There is no hurry. Nothing is going away. Your tokens are secure in your blockchain forever. Even the airdrops are secure forever. Airdrops cannot be even traded. Right now, they are useless, they are worthless, they are just tokens which have no value. So please do not try to hurry up if you don't understand it right now. And if you have your private keys, keep them secure. Do not enter them anywhere. People are asking about there is a question for hardware wallet support. So there is no inside information. This is a public information. Dan Larimer has confirmed that Block.one is working on a hardware wallet. Their hardware wallet is iPhone based. It's a iOS based, so it will work with your biometrics like a fingerprint or your face detection and so on, and it will enable storing your keys securely in your phone. And to be able to do it will be an app, and that is something which they have already worked on. They are waiting for approval from Apple. That's what we understand, and that will be released as soon as Apple's App Store approves it. Beyond that, I hear that they are working on actual hardware wallet, which are outside the phone, which are physical hardware units, just like Treasure or Ledger Nano, and that is also under development, as we understand. But there is no details given of the timeline or whether they are going to be ready immediately. All right. So what else, guys? Uh, I don't see any more questions. Okay, Greymas. There are a lot of people asking questions about Greymas. Please go and download this tool. If you do not understand it, I think it is very, very basic. If you have any computer knowledge, you will not face any issues using Greymas. Just go download it from here, and it should be very easy for you to enter all the information they ask for. They always give you prompts. Is it safe? We believe it is safe as long as your computer is safe. If somebody can hack into your computer, nothing is safe. Then second thing is, can it be used offline? You can enter your keys offline. You don't need to be connected. So what we recommend is you download it, then you get disconnect from internet, you open it, you enter your keys without being on internet. That is a safe way of doing it. You can disconnect your wi-fi or whatever you're using for internet, and then you, after you have done that, then you can go and online, then your keys are encrypted, and Greymass does never send you your keys online using their wallet. So that is our recommendation whenever you are doing it. When you download this tool, we are using MacBook, so we use this MacBook DMG. If you are using a Windows machine, you should download the exe file, and then you can install it and enter your keys offline, and then they will encrypt the keys, and they will give you a password, because you will be creating a password just like any other tools. And that password is something you need to make sure you remember. Don't note it down anywhere, because people can hack into your wallet using that password. These are some of the tips I can give you for Greymass, and that should be sufficient for you to get going. And I hope that people start using Greymass, because it's a great tool for voting. It's a great tool for if you want to unstake or stake your tokens. They're going to add more items. As we said, we talked to them, and they have confirmed they will add proxy voting. They will add RAM buying and selling. But of course, they are being very, very safe. They are trying to test the tools before they enable it in their wallet. So if you see, they keep updating it. So this is right now they are on 0.2.2, and you need to keep updating your wallet so to get new features. Right now, I think they're working on these new features, and hopefully they will quickly bring that. One more question people were asking is, some people don't understand how to upgrade their wallet. If you are just download the new version, and it will automatically overwrite on top of the previous one, and your password will remain same. Your keys will remain already entered. You do not have to set up your wallet every time you upgrade it. So that's what I can say. Beyond that, I hope that it is self-explanatory on what is how to use these wallets. So again, guys, thanks a lot. We will now close this session. Thanks a lot for joining, and we hope that market recovers. Right now, it is not looking great. If you're an investor, we understand. I think all of us, but be calm. Do not make a bad decision, because right now we are at one of the lowest points in this market, and you do not want to sell out at a wrong point. But of course, you need to look at your overall conditions, your portfolios across beyond cryptos, and decide whether you want to stay in this market. But remember, this is going to test your patience. It's a long-term game. Nothing is changing in short term. All EOS is just starting. If you're an EOS investor, it is just starting. It is in very early days. Once the DApps start coming, we believe that it will really show how great EOS is and how it can really change the decentralized applications. So thanks again for joining. Bye for now, and take care and have a great weekend. Please like our videos, share them with your friends, so that we can get more visibility and more people can understand how to make sense out of this crazy crypto world. Thank you. Bye bye.